The first time I realized something had changed, I couldn't believe my own eyes. My dad, who I thought had been grieving my mom forever, smiled awkwardly and said, "I have news." At first, I thought it was innocent, until I saw them. My dad's new wife, her family, moving into our house like they owned it. And that's when I knew. Everything I'd trusted about home, about family, had just been ripped away. If you've ever felt powerless in your own home, or watched someone cross every boundary you ever set, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stay till the end. Because what happens next isn't just revenge, it's a masterclass in justice. I grew up in that house. Every corner had a memory. My mom's laughter echoing in the kitchen, the smell of her Sunday roasts, the soft hum of the living room at night when we'd all sit together. Losing her was like losing the sun. My dad tried to be there for me, but grief can twist people in strange ways. We had a fragile piece, me clinging to memories, him trying to move forward, but always respectful of what our family had been. That piece shattered the day I walked into my living room and saw her, my dad's new wife. And not just her mother, her brother, her cousins, every single one of them, unpacking boxes in my home like they had rented it. I froze. My hands were shaking, my chest tight. I wanted to scream, to demand explanations, but all that came out was a shaky "Dad, what's going on?" He smiled. That fake, nervous smile adults use when they know they've crossed a line but can't admit it. "I thought it was time you met them," he said, like this was some casual family introduction, and not an invasion of the life we'd built. I wanted to believe there was a miscommunication. Maybe they were just visiting? But the next morning, I realized the truth. They weren't visiting. They were moving in. My room, which I'd painstakingly decorated, now had her cousin's laundry all over the floor. The living room furniture had been rearranged. And the kitchen. Don't get me started on the kitchen. My mom's favorite dishes, her carefully organized pantry gone, replaced with cheap plates, her mother's brand of tea, and the audacity of someone acting like they'd always been part of my life. I tried to talk to my dad. I really did. "Can we maybe give me some notice? This is my home too," I said, my voice shaking. He sighed. "They're family now. You'll get used to it." I remember feeling my stomach drop. My home, my memories, my rules completely dismissed. And the worst part, the way they looked at me. Not like a daughter, but like an intruder. My dad didn't even blink at it. Days turned into weeks. I watched them take over everything. Every decision was theirs. Meals, furniture, even the temperature of the house. I tried small acts of resistance at first, moving their things back to where they belonged, reclaiming my room, but each time, I was met with laughter or thinly veiled contempt. One evening, after yet another comment about how messy my room was, I sat on my bed and felt something I hadn't felt since my mom passed. A fire. Anger. Determination. I realized something. If I let this go, if I didn't do something, I'd lose not just my home, but my voice. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I started planning. And when I say planning, I mean every tiny detail. I observed. I listened. I waited. My dad's new wife. She had this habit of bragging, loudly and carelessly, about everything she owned. Every little triumph. Every secret she assumed I didn't know. Her family was just as careless, arrogant, and disrespectful. That arrogance would be their downfall. The opportunity came sooner than I expected. They had invited a bunch of her relatives over for a dinner without telling me. Of course, my dad didn't even think to ask. I saw it as the perfect storm. I cleaned my weapon room, the one no one paid attention to, and prepared. By the time they all gathered in the living room, my dad's new wife shrank in her seat. Her relatives shifted uncomfortably. I let them squirm, and then I said it. Calm, clear, deliberate. "This is my home, my memories, my life. You were welcomed here once, but respect is not optional. You took what wasn't yours, and now you've seen what happens when you forget that." There was silence. Absolute, heavy silence. My dad opened his mouth, but nothing came out. The aftermath was almost poetic. She tried to play it off, tried to twist the story, but the proof was undeniable. The record, the chaos, the subtle sabotage, it all painted a picture of entitlement meeting its match. Slowly, over the next week, the tension became unbearable for them. They stopped coming over. When they did, they were careful, quiet, polite, but the arrogance was gone. My dad finally started seeing things clearly. He apologized. He admitted, finally, that he had underestimated the impact of his actions. For me, it was liberation. My house wasn't just a physical space anymore. It was mine again. My memories, my voice, my rules restored. And the best part? I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I didn't stoop to cruelty. I let precision, patience, and principle do the work. The look on her face the first time she realized she was no longer in control, it's something I'll never forget. Shock, disbelief, embarrassment, all of it. Without me having to raise my voice. She had learned a lesson in humility, in respect, in the consequences of entitlement. And I had learned something too. Sometimes, the most satisfying revenge isn't chaos, it's carefully measured justice that leaves no doubt who the victor really is. Sometimes the people who hurt us aren't strangers, they're family. And sometimes reclaiming your life means standing up with courage, strategy, and a clear mind. Justice doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be earned. If you've ever been disrespected or underestimated, share your story in the comments. I want to know how you reclaimed your power. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because these are the stories where triumph is as sweet as it is precise. Who doesn't love a little justice served perfectly?